If you don't feel confident about your pronunciation, your fluency, or your listening skills, then you found the right video. Because in this video, we practice accent reduction, pronunciation, and intonation with real people who are learning English along with you. So watch us, join us, and improve your American accent with these videos. Now, this is a very unique channel. So make sure that you subscribe and give me a thumbs up to help me out. It's really hard to get noticed on YouTube these days. And stick around because we practice for hours every day, improving our accent, improving our fluency, and improving our vocabulary and listening comprehension. Stay right here and practice English with us. So first we're going to read from the textbook, and then we'll read a simple summary. So in case you didn't understand all of the terminology from the original textbook, we'll read something a little bit simpler. And then we'll practice 4 vocabulary words that I've chosen from this text. We'll focus on pronunciation, intonation, and accentuation. So you can improve your accent, but also improve your listening comprehension this way. All right, so we're just doing 1.1, and the question is, let me just make sure I've had a couple of times where I put myself on mute and I kept talking and I did a whole video that I had to delete because nobody could hear me. All right. What is psychology? Learning objectives. By the end of this section, you will be able to define psychology, understand the merits of an education in psychology. Merit sort of means like reward, the rewards of an education in psychology. I think that would be a good, it could also be like pros and cons, something like that. What is creativity? What are prejudice and discrimination? What is consciousness? The field of psychology explores questions like these. Psychology refers to the scientific study of the mind and behavior. Psychologists use the scientific method to acquire knowledge. Acquire means to get, to receive, to take. So psychologists use the scientific method, they use a scientific process to get knowledge. To apply the scientific method, a researcher with a question about how or why something happens will propose a tentative explanation. Tentative means like temporary. Called a hypothesis. That's one of our vocabulary words today. And I remember when I was going to school a long, long time ago, even before college, the way that teachers would explain hypothesis is it means educated guess. So it's a guess, but it's a guess because you know a lot of things already. So it's not just a wild guess, what they would call a stab in the dark. It's an educated guess. You already know a lot of things, so you're qualified to make a really good guess about how to do something. Hypothesis. That's a very important word when you're going to university. Used in a lot of different fields, a lot of different areas. A hypothesis to explain the phenomenon. A hypothesis should fit in the context of a scientific theory, which is a broad explanation or a group of explanations. So you have a scientific theory. This is an idea about something. And then they're saying a hypothesis should fit inside of a theory. So you have a general idea, a broad idea. That's the theory. And then inside of the theory, you can make a hypothesis. You can guess about certain things. A hypothesis should fit into the context of a scientific theory, which is a broad explanation or group of explanations for some aspect of the natural world that is consistently supported by evidence over time. A theory, by the way, is also a word that we're going to practice today, I think. It's such a long time ago that I made my vocabulary list. Oh well, we'll see in a minute. A theory is the best understanding we have of that part of the natural world. So a theory is an idea that you make up about something. You know, they have like the Big Bang Theory. How was the universe created? One day there was an explosion out of nothing. That's the Big Bang Theory. That's their idea. And then inside of that, you can form hypotheses about certain things. Scientists test that which is perceivable and measurable. For example, a hypothesis that a bird sings because it is happy is not a hypothesis that can be tested, since we have no way to measure the happiness of a bird. We must ask a different question, perhaps about the brain state of the bird, since this can be measured. However, we can ask individuals about whether they sing because they are happy, since they are able to tell us. Thus, psychological science is empirical, based on measurable data. Empirical is also a word that we'll be practicing today. Empirical means that you can see it or you can observe it. So empirical evidence is evidence that you can see or touch or measure. In general, but we're going to practice that in a minute, don't worry. In general, science deals only with matter and energy. Matter are physical things, things that you can see or touch. And energy, that is, those things that can be measured. And it cannot arrive at knowledge about values and morality. This is one reason why our scientific understanding of the mind is so limited, since thoughts, at least as we experience them, are neither matter nor energy. The scientific method is also a form of empiricism. An empirical method for acquiring knowledge is one based on observation, including experimentation, rather than a method based on only forms of logical argument or previous authorities. So they're saying the empirical method is reaching decisions based on observation, based on what you see and what you can measure, and not on just thinking about things. It was not until the late 1800s that psychology became accepted as its own academic discipline. Before this time, the workings of the mind were considered under the auspices of philosophy. Uh-oh, my mouse stopped working. My battery is about to die on my mouse. I hope it doesn't die now. Given that any behavior is, at its roots, biological, some areas of psychology take on aspects of natural science like biology. No biological organism exists in isolation, and our behavior is influenced by our interactions with others. Therefore, psychology is also a social science. So they're saying some things about psychology are biological. Maybe you could measure them studying the, I don't know, x-rays or brain scans or something like that. But also it's social, meaning it's about how you talk or deal with other people. Why study psychology? Often students take their first psychology course because they're interested in helping others and want to learn more about themselves and why they act the way that they do. Sometimes students take psychology course because it either satisfies a general education requirement or is required for a program of study, such as nursing or pre-med. Many of these students develop such an interest in the area as they go on to declare psychology as their major. As a result, psychology is one of the most popular majors on college campuses across the United States. A number of well-known individuals were psychology majors. Just a few famous names on this list are Facebook's creator, Mark Zuckerberg, television personality and political satirist Jon Stewart, actress Natalie Portman, and filmmaker Wes Craven. About 6% of all bachelor's degrees granted in the United States are in the discipline of psychology. An education in psychology is valuable for a number of reasons. Psychology students hone means focus, hone critical thinking skills, or maybe refine, or make better, or make perfect. Let's say that's what hone is. So psychology students make their critical thinking skills better. They improve their critical thinking skills and are trained in the use of the scientific method. Critical thinking is the active application of a set of skills to information for the understanding and evaluation of that information. The evaluation of the information, assessing its reliability and usefulness, is an important skill in a world full of competing facts, many of which are designed to be misleading. For example, critical thinking involves maintaining an attitude of skepticism. To be skeptic, or to be skeptical, or to have skepticism, means to be suspicious, to doubt. So you don't just accept things that people tell you. You say, I'm not sure I believe you. Let me go do my own research. That's what it means to be skeptic. Recognizing internal biases, making use of logical thinking, asking appropriate questions, and making observations. Psychology students also can develop better communication skills during the course of their undergraduate coursework. Together, these factors increase student scientific literacy, prepare students to critically evaluate the various sources of information they encounter. In addition to these broad-based skills, psychology students come to understand the complex factors that shape one's own behavior. They appreciate the interaction of our biology, our environment, and our experiences in determining who we are and how we will behave. They learn about basic principles that guide how we think and behave, how they come to recognize the tremendous diversity that exists across individuals and across cultural boundaries. Okay, that was the end of the official text. Now let's read a very brief summary of what we just read in simpler words, just in case you missed some of the information. Let's see. It's very short, just 2 paragraphs. And then we'll practice. We've got Kaveh and Sarah who have volunteered to practice with us. So we'll be practicing in a moment some of the vocabulary words that we learned. I think I picked 4 for this. All right, let's read through this quickly. Psychology is the scientific study of the mind and behavior, using the scientific method to understand how and why things happen. Researchers create a hypothesis, a tentative explanation. Tentative means temporary, so a temporary explanation. Remember, I told you that my teachers used to say, hypothesis means educated guess. So I'm still sticking with that many years later. To test ideas which must align with a theory. So remember, you have the theory, you have a theory, and then inside of the theory, you can make a hypothesis. A well-supported explanation. Psychology is an empirical science. Remember, empirical, we're going to practice that word in a minute, but that means things that you can see or observe or touch. So it's not just an idea. You say, yeah, that sounds good. You have to be able to see it or touch it or have some kind of physical evidence of it. Psychology is an empirical science, meaning it is based on measurable data. However, it cannot address questions about values or morality, as these are not measurable. Historically, psychology was part of philosophy until the late 1800s, when it became a recognized academic discipline. Psychology combines aspects of natural science, like biology, and social science, as behavior is influenced by both biology and social interactions. Studying psychology has many benefits. Students improve critical thinking skills, such as evaluating information, recognizing biases, and asking logical questions. They also learn to communicate better and gain scientific literacy. To be literate means to be able to read. So if you call someone illiterate, that means they cannot read. And if you say someone is literate, they can read. But scientific literacy means you have the ability to read scientific documents. That's a skill that you have to develop. So you could be literate, you can read words, but if you want to be scientifically literate, you probably have to take some classes to understand the vocabulary or some of the symbols or some of the things that they might use. So they also learn to communicate better and gain scientific literacy. Helping them assess means evaluate. Helping them assess reliable information in a world full of misleading facts. Psychology explores the complex relationship between biology, environment, and experiences, offering insights into diversity among individuals and cultures. These skills and knowledge make psychology a popular major, with application in various fields like healthcare, education, and media. Many students find studying psychology useful for understanding themselves and others, leading some to pursue it as a career. Okay, so that's the end of the summary. Now, let's see. We've got. Where's Kave? Kave said he wanted to volunteer, but I don't see him. Uh, let's see. Sarah, can you. Oh, Kave's here. Now I see Kave. All right, so Sarah, are you there? Are you there now? Yes.
Yes, yes,
And
I'm here,
Kave,
yeah.
Kave, you're also here. All right. Well, let's bring up this document with where was it? I've got so many windows open. I can't find anything. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. So we've got our vocabulary words. Let me refocus this. So we've got critical thinking, theory, empirical, and hypothesis. These will be the words that we practice now. Okay. Sarah, have you seen, are you familiar with all of these words? We've talked just a little bit. I don't know what your level is. What do you think about these words? Are these words that you've encountered before?
Yes, I counted these words before because I listened to many of podcasts, especially Lex Fredman, because
Oh,
Fredman talks about different topics about politics, psychology, physiology,
mhm.
literature. So yeah, all of these words that you explained before. So yeah, I know it.
I was just watching some Lex Friedman podcasts this morning.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
he's really awesome, and his way of talking is really wonderful because he's
because he
talking
speaks
about
very,
different. Yes.
yeah, he speaks very slowly, so he's easy to understand, right?
Yeah, but his podcast is really really difficult because it aligns with C1 levels. So yeah, I am so maybe I'm trying to be suitable for with his words and to be able to listen more and more to be able to familiarize myself with these words. So yeah.
Okay. Sarah, so since you're familiar with critical thinking, that phrase, can you read number one? What is our first example?
Okay. She used critical thinking to decide if the news article was trustworthy. Trustworthy, maybe it means it's reliable or something like that.
Okay, something you can trust, something that you can.
Yeah,
Right.
or
Okay.
reliable.
Sarah, can you read the first four words? What are the first four words of that phrase?
Okay. She used the critical thinking.
What are the important words in that phrase?
Uh, critical and used. She used critical and thinking because
Hmm.
they are the content words in the sentence. So I think used and critical and thinking, because we stressed words like content words like verbs, adjectives, and nouns. So these words are stressed.
Mm-hmm.
So yes,
Yeah, but I'm not sure if you would want to really emphasize the word used here. I think it might be a little bit too much. If you say she used critical thinking, it sounds like you're surprised that she used critical thinking. So I
yeah,
think,
because
go ahead.
yeah, yeah, I mean that she used to read that, but now she didn't use the critical thinking anymore, because maybe she tried many ways after that. So I think if we stress that word, we maybe it would emphasize on used to. She used to do it in our used to do
Well,
it in the past, but not anymore in the present. So I think that's so. That's my opinion. Yeah, but
mhm. Well, used to and used are two very different things. We're not using used to. We're not using that word to. So it just we're just using the verb use as a regular verb, not a verb with a special meaning like before yes, now no. But I think maybe just critical thinking might be okay to emphasize. Okay. Now that word
okay.
critical, that has three syllables. Which syllable has all of the
Yes,
sound?
critical to the syllable to critical. Yes,
That would be
or maybe three syllables.
that would be critical. Is it critical or
Oh no
critical?
no 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 critical. Yeah,
First
the
syllable.
last syllable.
That no,
Yeah
that would be critical. Critical. Is it critical?
yeah.
Critical.
On
Critical. Which syllable?
one
The first one.
critical.
Critical.
Yes, okay.
Critical. Can you say it?
Critical.
Say it like that. Make the vowel sound very long. Critical.
Critical.
What about thinking? Thinking.
Thinking. Two. The second syllable.
Oh,
Yes, the second syllable.
so
Thinking.
like this. Thinking. Thinking. Is that correct?
No, no,
Thinking.
no, no. Thinking.
So which
Thinking.
syllable?
When? The first one. The
The,
first one.
the first one. Okay. All right. So let's read
Thinking.
what we have so far. We're going to make the big sounds big, which is cre and thing, but the other sounds will not be so big. She used critical thinking.
Critical thinking.
She used critical thinking. Say
That
she used. She used critical thinking.
critical thinking.
Say she used also. She used critical thinking.
Okay. She used critical thinking.
Okay, but we don't want to make she used very big. Okay, this is going to help you with your listening,
Okay.
but also your pronunciation. So it's not she used critical thinking, it's she used critical thinking.
She used critical thinking.
Okay, Kave, can you try that?
That
She used critical thinking.
Am I audible, sir?
I can hear you. Yes. Hmm.
I hope you've had a great weekend so far. And
Oh yes, it's
hello
been
to you.
wonderful.
And
How about you?
okay, not bad. Life be lifing. And you know,
Can you try that?
just
She used critical
okay.
thinking.
She used critical thinking.
Okay, let's look at the next four words, which is to decide if the. Now, let's say news. Let's also put news. To decide if the news. What are the important words in that phrase, Kave? To decide if the news.
News.
Okay. Anything else or just news?
I want it to be yeah. Okay, decide.
Okay.
Let me
All right.
highlight this side for that one. Yeah.
Decide. Decide. Where's the
Decide.
accent? Which syllable has all of the emphasis in decide?
Side.
Side. Side.
Yeah.
Side. It's very long.
Side. Yeah.
Side.
Yeah.
Side. Side.
Decide. Yeah.
Decide if the news.
The side of the news.
To decide if the news.
To decide if the news.
She used critical thinking to decide if the news.
She used critical thinking to decide if the news.
Sarah, can you try that? Decide if the news.
Decide if the news.
She used
Is that
critical
correct?
thinking to decide if the news. Try everything.
Okay. She used critical thinking to decide if the article was trustworthy. Okay.
Don't jump
She,
ahead. Just stop at news.
okay. I'm sorry.
That's
Okay.
okay. That's
She
okay.
used
Go ahead. Try
okay.
again.
She used critical thinking to decide if
Okay.
the news. Okay.
Oh, yeah. She used critical thinking to decide if the news. All right. Now let's take a. That was good. If I think that it's wrong, if it doesn't sound right, I will tell you. Okay. So, if I don't tell you, that means that you're doing it all right. Okay.
Okay.
What are the final three words of that sentence?
Can I read it?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. She used critical thinking to decide if the news article was trustworthy.
Now, on the final part, which words are important? We have article and was and trustworthy. Which
Okay, trustworthy, trustworthy.
okay.
It is the most important word, yes.
Okay, and now that's made of two words, and usually if you have two words together like that, which word will get the emphasis normally?
Yeah, the second one, I think. The
No,
second one because it's
actually the first one, the first word.
the first one
Yeah.
because it's a complex. Yes, it's a complex adjective. So yes.
That it's two words together. Usually when you have two words together like that, it would be the first word that gets all the
Yes.
attention. How
Okay,
about
trust. Okay.
okay, the news article is trustworthy. Okay, we don't really have to emphasize article if we don't want to. So it would sound like this. She used critical thinking to decide if the news article was trustworthy.
Okay, she used critical thinking to decide if the news article was trustworthy.
Okay. And let's add a little bit of music. We'll put some high tones on all of
Okay.
our important sounds, except for the final part. We'll make that low. Critical thinking to decide if the news article was trustworthy. We'll make that low down here. And let's see. So it should sound something like this. She used critical thinking to decide if the news article was trustworthy. Can you try something like that?
Okay. She used critical thinking to decide if the news article was trustworthy.
Trustworthy. Try to go low at the bottom. Trustworthy.
Okay. Trustworthy, trustworthy.
Critical thinking, decide, news, trustworthy.
Okay. She used critical thinking to decide if the news article was trustworthy.
Oh, Kave, can you try that with a little bit of music? She used critical thinking to decide if the news article was trustworthy.
She used critical thinking to decide if the news. Well, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Again, I repeat it again.
Okay.
She used critical thinking to decide if the news article was trustworthy.
Trustworthy. Trustworthy.
Trustworthy. She used critical thinking to decide if the news article was trustworthy.
Okay. Let's put two words down here at the bottom. Okay. So we've got worthy. What does that word worthy mean?
It's my turn or Sarah's turn.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I didn't hear what you said.
I said
Your
it's
turn, Kave. Kave, I'm talking to you. Uh, what does the word
okay.
worthy mean, Kave?
Worthy means having great value, I think.
Okay. And what about the
Having a merit.
what?
Having a merit.
Having merit? Yeah, maybe having merit.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
having merit. That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
How about wordy? Number 2. What does wordy mean? Have you ever seen that word before? Wordy.
Yes. Yes.
What does that mean?
Is a very. This means it's not very clear because the person uh, use verbatim strategy, use a lot of word, but it doesn't make, I mean, no sense, any sense,
Doesn't
because
make
it's
any
really
sense. Hmm.
flamboyant in using the words, huh?
Yeah, maybe somebody's using too many words and it's making it very
Yeah,
complicated to understand.
yeah, yeah.
So,
It's not concise, it's not clear to understand, it's
mhm.
not whatever.
Right. So, those are two different words and they sound very different too. How do you think you
Yes.
should pronounce number 1?
Worthy.
Worthy. Worthy.
Worthy.
Yeah, you don't
Yes.
have to
It
push out
sounds
too
like
much. You don't have to push out too much air, but just make sure that you stick your tongue under your teeth. Worthy. You don't have to exaggerate it too much. Worthy. Worthy. Just push your tongue under your teeth.
word. Okay, got it.
Can you
Worthy.
say number
Worthy.
1? Okay, say number 1.
Worthy. Worthy.
Push. Are you pushing your tongue under your teeth?
Yes.
Okay, maybe push out a little bit
Hmm.
of air when you do it.
Worthy. Worthy.
Worthy. Worthy. Worthy.
Yes. Yes. Worthy.
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 Well,
Worthy.
we're coming into a problem. Wait, let me see. Whoops. Esteban says, could you pronounce the link king to decide and if the new. Oh. Uh, Before we continue, I'll just do this for Esteban really quickly. Okay, so
Mhm.
you have if, okay, but because if starts with a vowel sound, it will take the D in front of it and it will be diff. And it would be diphthah, diphthah, deciditha, 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 deciditha. Decide if the news was trustworthy. Decide if the, diphthah, decide if the. Okay, now let's go back to our wordy problem. Okay, this gets a little bit complicated because, well, first of all, let me hear Sarah do it. Sarah, can you try number 1 and number 2? How would you say number 1 and how would you say number 2?
Okay, trustworthy and worthy.
Say number 1 again. Just worthy.
Trustworthy,
Don't say the word trust.
trustworthy.
Don't say the word
Okay,
trust. Just
worthy.
worthy.
Okay, worthy,
Okay, worthy. And how would you say number 2?
worthy.
Okay, worthy, wordy. Okay. This is a very complicated thing that we're getting into right now. Okay. First of all, what words could we use? I'm trying to think of 2 words that would work here. How about well, let's see. I have to ask ChatGPT for some help on this. Let's see. This gets really complicated. Okay. This is not quite right, but it's close enough. Kaveh, can you see the 2 words that I have written below worthy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mm.
Can you
Ah.
pronounce
Okay.
can you pronounce letter A?
Path. Path.
Bath.
Path.
Bath.
Yeah. Path.
Okay, bath. And how would you say letter B?
Bathe.
Okay. And
Bathe.
bath, bath, and bathe. I don't know if there's a wait.
Yes.
Let me see if I can do a different one. I'm not too sure about that example. I guess we'll have to do it. Okay. Will you say that those two TH sounds are the same or are they different?
Certainly they are different.
Okay, certainly they're different. What's the difference between them?
The last syllable.
Okay, if we're just talking about the TH sound, what's the difference?
Yeah,
In
TH sound.
We're not talking about the vowel sound. We're talking just about the TH sound. What is the difference?
Yes. The second one is like when snake is hissing, is like
Huh?
with the little sound.
Okay.
I don't know how can I explain.
Hissing. That sound is hissing when a snake is hissing.
Hissing. Yeah. Hissing.
That's right.
Like
So the only difference between the letter S and number two and letter B is that the position of your tongue. So, if you say base, that's the same word.
no.
But if you slip your
Yeah.
tongue under your teeth, then you say bathe. You're still pushing
With a
out
little
the ear of the S.
little sorry for interruption. With a
Uh,
little motive of like be um like
Bathe.
beezing.
Oh,
Yeah.
you like a Z? Bathe. Bathe.
Not much, not much. Is a little. It's very subtle.
Okay, you're really a perfectionist, Kave.
Uh,
It's true. There's a vibration. There's a vibration there, but that will not be helpful for what we're about to talk about. Okay, to think about the
okay.
vibration. So don't think about that. You're right. There is, but don't think about it. Just think about the fact that if you say bass, and then you move the position of your tongue under your teeth, it becomes bathe. But the point is you're pushing the air out of your mouth like an S. Right? Do you agree with that? You can feel air coming out. Bathe.
Bathe,
Hmm.
bathe.
You can feel the air.
Yes.
Can you
Yeah.
feel the air coming out of your mouth?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
Mhm.
But bath is different. Bath,
Bath. It's like
bath.
blocking air. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
At the end, at the very end. Yes.
It's really more like a D. It's like you were doing a D, except
Bath.
you're sticking your
Yes.
tongue under your
Yeah.
teeth.
Seems like yes.
Okay, so like if you say bad, but then you move your tongue under your teeth, bath, bath, bath,
Bath.
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 And you should not feel any
Bath.
air come. You should not feel any air coming out of your mouth when you do letter A. Bath, bath,
I'm just okay. Bath.
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 Because letter
Bath.
A is a sound that you eat. Letter A is a sound that you eat. Okay.
Okay.
So letter B is a sound that you spit out, that you push out. Bath or bathe. Sorry, bathe.
Mhm.
And you can
Bathe.
feel the
Yes.
air coming out, but not letter A. Letter A is the opposite. Letter A you push down instead of out. Right? Do you understand the difference? Can you see the
Mhm.
difference?
Yes, I see.
Sarah, can you try that? Letter A. How would you say letter A?
Okay.
Bath.
Bath.
Bath. Say bad.
Bath.
Sarah, say bad.
Bath.
Say bad, like bad dog. Bad.
Bad.
Now you
Bad
just
dog.
yeah, bad dog. Now push your tongue under your teeth. Bath. Bath.
Bath. Bath.
Bath. Okay. And how would you say number 2?
Bathe. Bathe.
Bathe. This is like bass except you move your tongue under your teeth. Bathe. Bathe.
Bathe.
Okay.
Bathe.
Kaveh, I don't remember if we talked about it. Did we talk about the difference of vowel sounds when you have a sound that you when you have a consonant that you eat instead of push out of your mouth? Do you remember
Like
talking about?
sure. Yes, like sure.
Mhm. So you
Sure. We eat it when we talk fast like that because it's like A-E-I-O-U. We are eating these vowels like schwa to be able to like
but we're not
make
talking.
or
Not
sound
to,
make
yeah, but not
sound
vowel. Yeah, but I'm not
babies
talking about vowel sounds. I'm talking about the consonant, the th sound.
consonants.
Okay,
Yeah.
because you eat the th in letter A, you have to make the vowel sound longer. Okay, so
Okay.
even if you are not pronouncing the consonant correctly, we still hear the word because the vowel sound is extra long in letter A, and it's bath.
Yes.
And
Okay.
number two is
Bad.
so letter A is bath, and letter B is bathe.
Bathe. Okay. Bath.
And
Bathe.
bathe, yeah, bathe.
Bathe.
And the reason for that is because you eat letter A and you don't eat, you spit out letter B. Bathe, bathe, bathe.
Bathe.
Bath.
Bathe.
Can you try that?
Bath.
Kave, can you notice that? Can you try letter A?
Bath,
Bath.
bath,
It's extra long
bath,
because that th is a th that you eat. It is not a th that you push out of your mouth. Bath. Bath.
bath,
So even if you're
bath.
not doing the right th, we can hear that just in the vowel sound. And how would you say letter B?
Letter B?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, okay. Bathe.
But maybe not so long because the th you push out, you spit
You
out.
push out, yes.
Yeah.
Bathe,
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 bathe, bathe.
bathe.
They're
I'm just
both
putting,
long.
yeah, I just,
They're
yeah,
they're,
I'm
they're
just putting
both.
my
Mm-hmm.
left hand in front of my mouth to,
Bathe,
yeah,
bathe.
to feel the air. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Bathe. To not feel the air, actually.
You can't.
Bathe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If you can't, then
Bathe.
you should try to push out more air. But so
Bathe.
yeah,
Yeah.
bathe, but maybe not make the a so long. They're both long, but a should be longer because of that th is a th that you eat. It's not a th that you push out. Bath
Bathe. Bathe. Bath. Bathe.
and
Uh-huh.
bathe.
Okay,
hmm
okay.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah.
All right. Now I said this is so. I'm going to erase. So we understand this principle of spitting and eating, right? Now let's go back to our two words, okay? And we have to ignore the R because in a lot of times certain English accents do not pronounce an R. All right? So let's pretend that we don't have an R here. All right? I pronounce the R, but some people don't. A lot of people don't pronounce the R in a word. Okay? So if you imagine you're in the UK, imagine you're in London, okay? How will you identify the difference between these two words if there's no R?
TH sound. Yes.
Yeah, but some people don't pronounce that very well. So really it's the vowel sound that's extremely important.
So it's like worthy, worthy.
Extra
I
long.
don't.
Extra long because that th is a th that you eat. Oh no, wait, worthy, worthy,
Well,
worthy. No, no, no,
well,
no. It's short. It's a
it's
short one. Sorry, it's a short one. I'm getting tired. Number one is short. Worthy.
word. Yeah, I'm just pretending like British people.
Uh-huh.
Worthy, worthy. Yeah,
Stick your
worthy,
but stick your tongue under your teeth. Worthy. 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 Worthy.
worthy. It's
Okay.
really hard for me to pronounce like a British people.
Mhm.
Worthy,
Word.
worthy,
Okay, but
worthy.
number two, because of the D, it's going to be very long because you eat D's. Wordy.
Woody.
Wood, no R. Wood, I forgot that. Woody.
It's really hard. Woody.
Yeah. So that's how you
Woody.
know, though. Sometimes that's the only way that you know is because of the duration of the vowel sound. Sarah, can you try number one?
Yes, but with American accent, not
Fine.
British accent, because
It's
I
okay.
hate British accent.
Okay, that's okay. But I just the reason I'm doing that is because I want to show you that sometimes the only reason that you know the word is because of the duration of the vowel sound and not because of there's an R, because some people do, even in the United States, some people do not pronounce R's.
Yes, and there are a lot of tests with British accent, especially with IELTS exam.
Hmm.
But yeah, I can listen. Yeah, I can listen to it, but I can't able to imitate them or something like that because it's really hard.
Okay, that's okay.
So I prefer, yes,
Just
yes, I
notice
prefer American accent, British
just
accent. Yes.
okay. Well, just notice the difference in the duration of the vowel sound. How would you? It doesn't matter if you pronounce the R. How would you say number
Okay.
one?
Okay. Worthy,
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 worthy. It's kind of short. Worthy, worthy.
worthy, worthy,
But how
worthy,
about number
worthy,
two? How do you pronounce number two?
worthy.
That's right. It's bigger.
It's a little
The
bit
vowel
big.
sound is bigger.
A big look.
Wordy,
Yes, big.
wordy.
Worthy,
Hmm.
worthy.
Can you hear the difference?
Yes.
Okay.
The first one is shorter than the
Yeah,
second one
that's
because
the only difference.
worthy.
That's
Yeah.
the only difference.
Yes.
And if you're in a place where they don't pronounce R's very much, that's how you know the difference. It's because of the length or the duration of the vowel sound.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think we'll do questions for this one. We've got to move on. It's getting late. All right. So I think we'll finish with this one. Let's just say the entire sentence one more time. Sarah, can you say the entire sentence one more time? She used critical thinking to decide if the news article was trustworthy. Trustworthy.
Yes. Yes. Can you go back with the first sentence because I didn't see on this. Yes. Okay.
Can you see it now?
She, yeah, I see it now. Yes. She used okay. She used the critical thinking to decide if the news article was trustworthy.
Okay. Can you try that, Kaveh, one more time?
Okay.
Kaveh,
She used critical
go ahead.
me or me or cave.
Wait, go ahead one more
Me.
time, Sarah, and then we'll do Kaveh.
Okay, great. She used critical thinking to decide if the news article was trustworthy.
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 You've got to emphasize the first word,
Trustworthy.
not the second word.
Yes.
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy. Yeah, trustworthy. Okay.
Can you try that, Kaveh? Kaveh, are you there? Maybe we lost Kaveh. Okay, I think Kaveh's not there right now. So, Sarah, let's move on. I'm sure he'll join us in a minute when maybe he's got
Okay.
disconnected or something. So, Sarah, can you read number two? What is number two?
Okay. Number two. Okay. Yes. Okay. The theory of gravity explains why objects fall to the ground.
Okay. And can you read the definition for theory?
Okay. Mm, I will. Okay. Give me a minute. Okay.
I'll put it.
I
I'll put it in.
A theory is, yes, theory is a well-tested data of explanation based on evidence.
Okay.
And
Let's practice saying that word for a minute. Just listen to
okay,
the vowel sounds.
okay,
Theory. How many sounds do you hear in the middle? Theory.
yeah, three,
Three. Okay.
theory, yes,
Say it again.
theory,
Theory.
theory.
Okay. Theory. All right. So it's kind of a complicated word. you have to take your time when you say it because there's some extra sounds in there that maybe are not obvious. Theory.
Theory.
All right. Sarah, can you say the first phrase, the theory of gravity?
Okay. The theory of gravity explains why objects fall to the ground.
Just the phrase, the theory of gravity.
Okay. The theory of gravity.
What are the important words in that phrase?
Theory and gravity.
Okay. Theory. How many syllables are in the word theory?
2.
Okay. Which syllable is important? Theory.
Theory. The first one.
The first one. The first one. Don't forget when you say the, push your tongue under your teeth a little bit. The first one.
The. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So that's fear, fear, fear,
Theory.
fear, theory, theory.
Theory.
Kaveh, are you
Theory.
okay? And how? And what about gravity? Gravity. Where's the accented syllable?
The second syllable.
That would be
Gravity.
that would be gravity. Gravity. Is that right? Gravity.
No, it's the first. No. Okay, the first syllable.
The.
Gravity.
Okay, when
Okay.
you say the, don't forget to push your tongue under your teeth. The first syllable.
Okay. Yes, the first syllable. Yes, yes.
Okay. All
Because
right.
it consisted of 3 syllables, I think. It consisted gravity. It consisted of 3 syllables. And okay.
Okay, so how will you say this phrase? We'll make the big sounds big and the small sounds very small. The theory of gravity.
The theory of gravity.
Okay. Kaveh, are you back? I thought I heard you for a minute.
1 2 1 2 check.
Okay, yeah, you're there. Okay. Can you try to say that? The
Okay.
theory of gravity.
The theory of gravity.
Okay, that's good. Let's read up to Kaveh. Can you read up to the word fall?
The theory of Sorry, can I read it again?
Go ahead.
The theory of gravity explains why objects fall.
Okay, which words do you think we should emphasize in that frame? In that phrase, explains why objects fall.
Why?
Okay, anything else?
Fall.
All right. Is that it?
And maybe ground, but in a
Well,
low tone or voice.
okay, but
Yeah.
we're not doing that. We're just doing explain why objects fall.
Maybe explain, but I'm not
Do you
really
know,
sure.
I think, one way that you can, because the problem, or what makes this very complicated is you can emphasize anything that you want, but sometimes it would give, if you emphasize a particular word, it will change the meaning of your sentence. And if you just want to be neutral, maybe one of the best ways to figure out which word to emphasize are words that are very important. Like if I say explain objects fall, do we really need the word why?
Yeah.
Do we need the word why? Is that really an important word, do you think? Why? Or maybe we could
Give
just
me
say explain
and
objects fall.
could you give me a second to percolate this sentence in my mind and read
Okay.
it in my mind and then answer your question
All
pretty
right.
quick. I promise.
Okay. Okay. Are you percolating?
Objects. Why an objects?
If I said, Kaveh, if I said theory, gravity, explain, objects fall, do we really need the word why? Or would you understand my meaning without the word why? Theory, gravity, explain, object, fall.
Yes, you're right. You can omit the why.
You can emphasize the word why if you want, but I think explain, objects, fall would be better.
Yeah.
Listen to this. Explains why objects fall. It's almost like you're answering a question that somebody asked and not really
Yes.
just explaining something. Does that make sense?
100%. Yes.
Okay, so that, I mean, you can emphasize why, but then it sounds like you're answering a question more than you're giving an explanation. It's really hard to get this.
So we need to
Mhm.
at least highlight 1 or 2 words. What are we gonna do
Oh, we
with
can.
this
I
sentence?
think we should do explain objects and fall. I think we should emphasize
Okay.
those. Okay. Oh,
Okay.
explain. How many syllables are in that word?
Maybe 2 syllable?
Okay, and
No,
which
like,
syllable has all
okay.
of the stress? Explain.
Plain, plain,
Explain.
pl
Explain.
plain. Yes.
Explain. Explain. How about objects? Objects. Which syllable has all of the stress?
Up.
Objects. That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
Ob. Ob. How about, and then fall? That's easy because it's only one syllable.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's see. Whoops. What am I doing? All right. All right. So it sounds like this. The theory of gravity explains why objects fall.
Okay. The theory of gravity explain why objects fall.
Okay. And we could even add to the fall to the fall to the fall to the.
The theory of gravity explain why objects fall to the ground.
Can you say fall to the fall to the fall to the?
Fall to the,
Fall.
fall to the, fall to the,
The theory of
fall to the,
gravity
fall.
explains why objects fall to the ground. So I think we also have to emphasize the word. We might as well just do the whole thing. Fall to the ground. Fall to the ground. Fall to the ground.
The theory of gravity explain why objects fall to the ground.
Kaveh, that word why does that begin with a vowel sound? Why?
Could you repeat it again? I didn't catch you.
Does the word why does that end with a
Mhm.
does that start with a vowel sound?
Of course not. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Why?
sorry. Yes or no? I didn't hear you.
I think no.
Listen to me say the word why very slowly.
Okay.
Okay. Why? 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 What is the first sound of that word?
Ooh, ooh,
Ooh.
ooh.
Is that a vowel sound? Why?
No, it's
Why?
not.
It's not? Ooh is not a vowel sound?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is. Okay. So that means that it will follow, it would, even though it's a W, okay, I know W is not a vowel, but it does start with an oo sound, even
Yes.
though it's not a
Yeah.
vowel.
Okay.
Okay, so
Mm.
that means you will pronounce this like swai. Swai.
Yes.
Can you say that?
So it
Swai.
why
Explain swai.
explains why.
The theory of gravity
Uh-huh.
explains why objects fall.
Theory of gravity explains why object. The theory of gravity explains why objects fall to the ground.
Fall
The
to the ground.
theory of gravity
Go ahead.
explains why objects fall to the ground.
Again, do it again.
It, okay. The theory of gravity explains. The theory of gravity explains why objects fall to the ground.
Okay, yeah. We're doing little things with you because that's all that you've got left. but it should be swai. Swai.
Theory of gravity explains why objects fall to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Sarah, can you try that? Objects fall to the ground. Objects fall to the ground.
Objects falls to the ground.
Say that again.
Okay. Objects fall to the ground.
Is it za or the?
The.
The. Objects fall to the ground.
Objects fall to the ground.
The theory of gravity explains why objects fall to the ground.
The theory of gravity explains why objects fall to the ground.
Sarah, can you make a question with that? Like, do you agree with me question? This is my idea. Do you agree with me?
Yes. Don't you?
What is the subject of our sentence? The theory of gravity explains what... Go ahead.
Don't it? Don't it?
Okay,
Yes, it don't it.
you're
Yes.
getting better, you're getting closer, but you've still made one mistake.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
That's right.
Doesn't
That's
it?
right.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, yes. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
Okay. How will you say this in a confident way? So not like a question, but more like a statement. Like, yeah, I already know this, and I just want you to agree with me. Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
That's right. Doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
The theory of gravity explains why objects fall to the ground. Doesn't it?
Okay. The theory of gravity explains why objects fall to the ground, doesn't it?
The ground or the ground?
The ground.
Try again.
Okay. The theory of gravity explains why objects fall to the ground, doesn't it?
Okay, you're not sure? You're asking me, doesn't it? Or are you telling me, doesn't it?
Okay. Doesn't it?
Are you not sure? You're asking me a question or you're telling me? Which one?
No, I asking you a question. I asking you.
Okay, can you try
Doesn't
to
it?
do it? That's easy. That's the one everybody has an easy time with. Do the hard one where you sound confident and you're telling me and you just want me to agree. Doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
As if you say, doesn't
Okay.
it? That means I don't know. You tell me. But tell me with confidence.
Okay. Doesn't it?
That's a question. Say, doesn't it? Tell me.
Doesn't it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
That's right.
Doesn't it?
Kaveh, can you try to do that? Ask me with tell me with confidence. Doesn't it?
The theory. Okay. The theory of gravity explains why objects fall to the ground, doesn't it?
Yeah, doesn't it? That's like, hey, I already know, and I just want you to agree with me. Not, doesn't it? Can't you just tell me what to think?
The theory of gravity explains why objects fall to the ground, doesn't it?
Okay.
If you feel like it's a little trick that I used, I want to share with my
Okay.
friends. And if we speed up a little bit, we can gain this kind of confident manner, like, doesn't it? With a serious tone, doesn't it? It's not a question anymore.
Mm-hmm. So you think just saying it very quickly will do that for you?
Very quickly, that yeah.
No, well,
Doesn't it?
I don't know if that's not. I don't know if that's true because I could say it in the question form, and it would still be a question quickly, doesn't it? Doesn't it? You could do that quickly, and it's still a question, doesn't it?
But it's not like, doesn't it? Doesn't it? It's very serious,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
but that's because you're using the low tones. That's what makes it
Yeah.
confident, and it doesn't matter if
Mm.
it's slow.
Yeah.
Or quick.
Yeah.
It's really the
Yeah,
tone.
maybe.
It's really whether or not you use the high and the low tone that matters.
Mm.
Okay, so if I say, Kaveh, the theory of gravity explains why objects fall to the ground, doesn't it? And you agree with me, and you want to tell me, oh yeah, I agree with you. You're right. How would you say that? How would you?
Yes, actually, it does.
Okay.
Agree.
Okay, we'll just say, let's not get too fancy. Let's just say, yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
We've already got enough situations. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yes,
Yes,
it
it
does.
does.
Okay, how would you tell me? Oh,
Yes, it
that's not true. You're wrong about that.
Come on. No, it doesn't.
No, no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't. Yeah.
Sarah, can you try that? The theory of gravity explains why objects fall to the ground, doesn't it?
Okay. Mm. The theory of gravity plans away objects, explains the way objects fall to the ground, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. And how would you agree with me? How would you say, "Oh, yes, that's right. You're right about that"?
Oh, yes, it does.
Yes, it does. It does. You go from that's the typical statement. You go from high to low. It does. It does.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
How would you tell me? Oh, that's not true. You're wrong about that.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Okay. I just have to take a 1 minute break. I will be right back, and then we will do these final two, and then we'll be done. All right. Just give me 1 minute, though, please. All right. Sorry about that. Thank you for waiting. Okay, let's get back to work here. All right, Mr. Cave, can you read sentence number 3? What does it say?
Scientists rely on empirical evidence to support their findings.
Okay. Well, what is empirical evidence, Cave?
Empirical evidence is actually based on our experience, actually in contrast with having a basis on theoretical thinking or explanation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like that. Yeah, I'm thinking like that. Yeah.
Okay. Sarah, have you seen that word before, or that phrase, empirical evidence? Sarah, are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm sorry, but I was thirsty,
Oh,
so
that's okay.
yes, I want to.
No, that's
Okay.
okay. Have you seen that phrase before, though? Empirical evidence or empirical?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah, empirical, yes. It's like experimental, yes. It's a synonym for experimental.
experimental. Experimental.
Yes, experimental, yes, experimental, yes.
Mm-hmm. Kaveh, do you see the two words that I have written on the screen?
Hypothesis, like hypothesis,
Oh,
okay.
well, no, I'm talking about number 1 and number 2 below hypothesis. Do you see that? Number 1 and number 2.
Theory and the theoretical.
Okay. Kaveh, can you read number 1? What does number 1 say?
Theory.
Theory.
Can you say number 2, Kaveh?
Theoretical.
Okay. How many syllables in number 1, Kaveh?
2.
Theory. Okay. How about number 2?
4.
4?
Oh, I heard Sarah also say 4. No, there are 5.
Yeah.
There are 5 actually.
5, yes.
5?
See.
Yes, 5.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay, okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe.
Kaveh, what is the first syllable in number 2?
The,
The.
the,
The. What is the second syllable?
the, the.
The. What is the second syllable?
Oh,
Oh. Okay.
yeah.
All right. So in number 1, that's like one sound. It's not a separate syllable. Theory. Theory. It's just a lot of
Yes.
sounds smushed together. Theory.
Straight, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but
Just like hammer down.
in number 2, it's two separate syllables. And Kaveh, do you remember we talked about this the other day? What happens if one syllable finishes with a vowel sound and the next syllable starts with a vowel sound? What is it?
No,
Important?
yeah, it's like a pushing the very heavy cardboard. You're like gliding through it. Theoretical is like,
Yeah. Is you should
yeah,
probably you repeat the E in the. So it's theoretical.
theoretical, theoretical.
Theoretical. Then it's very clear which word you're saying. If you don't do that, if you say theoretical, people might say, "What?" But if you say theoretical, then everybody will hear that.
Could you speed up with this
Theoretical.
style?
Theoretical. 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 Theoretical.
More fast forwarding for like a 3 time and
What?
say it.
I'm sorry, can you repeat
Could
that?
you
Go ahead.
could you speed it up a little bit more?
Faster. Theoretical.
Yeah.
Theoretical. Theoretical.
Okay.
It's important to push out that E very strong. Theoretical. Theoretical.
Theoretical, 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 theoretical.
Sarah, can you say number 1?
Okay. Theory.
Theory. Theory. Theory. It's just a
Theory.
dirty vowel
Theory.
sound. It's a very impure, dirty vowel sound, but it's not 2 syllables. Theory. Theory. Theory.
Theory. Theory.
Can
Theory.
you say number 2?
Theoretical.
Push more E out. Theoretical.
Theoretical.
Yeah, because it has to be clear that there are 2 syllables, and you do that by exaggerating the E. Theoretical.
Theoretical.
Theory.
Theory.
Theoretical.
Theoretical.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretical.
Okay. All right. Sarah, can you read number 3 if you can see it? I don't know if you can see it. Let's see.
Yes, yes. Scientists rely on empirical evidence to support their findings.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about. I don't know who's got the crickets. Wait. Let's see. Scientist.
Yes.
All right, Sarah. Can you say this word that I have written underneath number 3? It's really interesting because we were just talking about this problem, and here we have it again. What is that word?
Okay. Scientists.
Okay. Kaveh, can you say that word, number 1? What does it say?
Number 1.
Scientist.
Kaveh, can you repeat that, please?
Scientist.
How many syllables does that word have?
2. Scientist 2.
Oh,
Yes.
not 2.
It's not 2. It's not. How many, Kaveh?
It's not 2.
2.
I'm just thinking. It's
Okay.
not 2. It's not 3 even. No.
Oh, I think it is 3.
4?
Scientist. It's
Okay.
3. It's 3. What is the
Science.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Kaveh, what is the first syllable in that word?
Sigh.
Okay. Sigh. What is the second syllable?
N.
N. Okay. And the third syllable is tist, right? So,
Yes.
what is the vowel sound at the end of sigh? What is the final vowel sound in that syllable?
I.
Ist.
Sigh.
Ist.
Sigh.
We're talking
Sigh.
about the first syllable, Sarah. Sigh. What is the
The first.
final? What is the
Yes.
I.
final vowel sound in sigh?
Owl is I. Yes. Sigh.
Like I like
More
Ist.
further closer to the front of your mouth than the back. Eh.
Eh. Eh.
You should feel some air pushing up at the almost like right around here. Eh.
Sigh.
Eh.
Sigh.
Sigh.
Okay.
So the vowel sound is two sounds. It's ah and then e. I. Okay. Well, we have to repeat that e to separate the two syllables. So it's scientist. Scientist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kaveh, can
I
you
should have
try
thought
that?
like that.
Scientist.
Scientist.
Yeah. Can you try that, Sarah? Scientist.
Scientist.
Yeah, we're just repeating that e and at the end of sci. Scientist.
Scientist.
Yeah, because if you rush through it and you try to say scientist, which is what you're trying to do, Sarah, it's hard to understand that word because we have to hear the two syllables. Scientist.
Scientist.
Not ah, but scientist. You've got to push out the e.
Yeah, scientist. Scientist.
Can you say that again, Kaveh?
Scientist.
You can do less ah and more ye.
Okay. Scientist.
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 Mm-hmm. Okay.
Scientist.
Kaveh, can you read number 3?
Scientist. No, you just scientists rely on empirical evidence to support their findings.
Okay. Sarah, can you read that again, please? Number 3.
Okay. Scientists rely on empirical evidence to support.
No. Start over and remember it's scientist.
Scientists.
Yeah, you have to say it. Like if you say scientist, that's really hard to understand that word.
Okay. Scientists rely on empirical evidence to support their findings.
Okay. Sarah, just read up to evidence. So read from scientist to evidence.
Okay. Scientists rely on empirical evidence.
Okay. What are the important words in that phrase?
Empirical evidence.
All right.
Scientists and rely.
Okay. Kaveh says like the color cyan. Yeah, it is. It is like that. Cyan. It is like that.
Like
okay.
science, yes.
Okay, I think let's ignore the word rely. Okay, I don't think maybe we don't really need to use that. We don't want to emphasize every single word because that would sound a little bit unnatural. Okay, so maybe we can skip rely. Now that word scientist, which syllable has all of the sound? Scientist.
The first syllable. The first syllable.
The first one. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. What is so and then in Sarah, the word empirical, which syllable has all of the sound? Empirical.
Cool. The third syllable. Empirical.
Tell me the sound. Tell me the sound.
Empirical.
Oh, so it's empirical. Empirical, is
No,
that
no, no,
correct?
no, 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 no. Empirical. The first syllable. The first syllable.
Oh, so
Empirical.
it's empirical. Empirical. Is that right?
M. Okay. يبقى
P. It's
يبقى
peer. It's
ب.
peer. It's peer. Empirical. Empirical.
Empirical.
Okay.
Empirical.
Yes, so that you have to emphasize that syllable. If you do any other syllable, it would be very difficult to understand that word. So it's really important to pay attention to which syllable has all of the stress. Empirical.
Empirical.
How about evidence? Evidence.
Evidence. That's the first syllable.
That's right. That's right. Okay. So we'll make the big sounds really, really big, and we'll make all the other sounds really small. Scientists rely on empirical evidence.
Okay. Scientists rely on empirical evidence.
Say scientists rely on. Scientists rely.
Scientists rely.
Okay, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to emphasize rely. It sounds okay.
Okay.
Scientists rely on. Scientists rely
Okay.
on.
Scientists rely on. Okay.
Scientists rely on empirical.
Scientists rely on empirical
Scientists
evidence.
rely on empirical evidence.
Scientists rely on empirical evidence.
Kaveh, can you try that? Scientists rely on
Scientists
empirical evidence. Go ahead.
Scientists rely on empirical evidence to support their findings.
Okay, right. So the final phrase to support their findings. What are the important sounds?
In findings,
Findings is an important word. Okay. Any other important words?
support.
Okay. So in that word support, which syllable has
Mm-hmm.
all the sound? Support. Support.
Port.
Port. Okay.
Port. Yes,
So we'll make
port.
sure to pronounce that big.
Mm-hmm.
How about findings? Which syllable has all of the sound?
Fine. Fine.
Findings. Find. Okay. All right. And so I agree with you. Those are the important words. We don't really have to pronounce the word there very clearly. But can you say that word? I just want to hear you say that word. There.
Air.
Again?
Air.
There. When when I pronounce that when I pronounce that word, if I pronounce it very slowly, tell me how many vowel sounds you hear in the middle. There. How many vowel sounds do you hear in the middle of that word? There.
Maybe
3. What are the
3
sounds?
or
Okay, what are the sounds that you hear?
um air is like air.
It's air. It's air. There. Right? Like that. There.
Air. Air.
Mm.
It's really hard to
Air.
yeah, put it into paper, but I feel you. Yeah.
I'm just saying because if that were an important word, you would want to say it like that. Okay, it's not an important word, so the way that you're doing it there is okay. All right, but I just noticed when you were
Mhm.
sort of emphasizing it that you were
Or-
that you weren't pronouncing it like that, and I wanted to bring it to your attention because you're almost perfect, but we have that next. We have to take you to that next level, so I wanted you to notice that. Do you understand what
Yes.
I'm telling you?
Sometimes. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes
Okay.
I hate my kind of yeah. Believe me, I just feel like again I can't and I do it again, again, again. I like a broken record.
That's okay. I just wanted
until
to,
I
I just wanted you to notice that. Okay, so it's not a big deal, especially here because it's a very unimportant word. So it sounds like this:
yeah.
support there. It doesn't matter. You just do the schwa if you want. Support there.
Support there.
You don't have to. No, you don't have to do any pronunciation there. It's an unimportant word. You can just shrink it. But I'm just telling you, if you do pronounce it as an important word, it has all those sounds in it. Do you
So
understand what I'm telling you?
yeah, could you I mean read it for only one time again?
As an unimportant word?
Yes.
Support their findings. Support their findings.
It's like air is like
There.
H E
It's just,
I R I R is like yeah, okay.
it's just there.
It's
There. It's nothing. It's nothing here.
mm. Support their findings.
Support
Like
them.
that. Support their findings.
Yeah. Support their findings.
Okay, got it. Support their finding. So
Scientists
the
rely on
whole
empirical
sentence like
evidence to
is
support their findings.
scientist, 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 or scientist.
You're asking if it's plural or if it's singular. Is that what you're asking?
No, no, no. How could I tone? How would you describe the tone of
Oh,
this
you want to?
sentence?
Okay, well, if we're being neutral, then usually the way a sentence will go is it will start high and it will gradually get lower as you get near the end of the phrase. But that's a little bit too much for people because most people, while we're doing this, it's hard enough just to recognize the difference between a high and a low tone. And then
Okay, okay.
thinking about doing steps down is a little bit too much to ask at this point. So I'm just recommending for this. It kind of sounds like a news broadcaster when you say it, but you just use
Yes,
high
yes.
tones on all the important sounds until you get to the end, and then use a low tone to give a
Mm-hmm.
signal that you're finished with your phrase.
Uh-huh.
Scientists rely
Okay.
on empirical evidence to support their findings.
Scientists rely on empirical evidence to support their findings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sarah, can you say support their findings?
Support their findings.
Okay, that's right. Can you try the whole phrase with a little bit of music? Scientists rely on empirical evidence to support their findings.
Okay. Scientists rely on empirical evidence to support their
Yeah,
findings.
so we make the big sounds really big and all the other sounds are really small. Okay. Sarah, how would you make a question like, this is my idea. Do you agree with me?
Okay. Do they or yes, do they?
Okay.
Because it
But if the sentence is affirmative, then your agree with me question must be negative.
yes, don't they? Okay.
Don't they? Okay, now if you say don't they, that sounds like I don't know the answer. You tell me. How will you say it in a way that sounds confident, like this is my idea and I want you to agree with me?
Don't they?
Don't they? Don't they?
Don't
Up to down.
don't
Don't
they?
they?
Okay. Don't they?
Yeah, can you say the whole thing?
Okay. Uh, Scientists rely on empirical evidence to support their findings, don't they?
That was good. Don't they? That means that sounds very confident. This is my opinion and you agree with me. Don't they?
Okay.
Don't they? Not don't they? I don't know. Tell me the answer.
Yes. I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Kabe, can you try that? Tell me with confidence and then ask for my opinion.
Sure. Scientists rely on empirical evidence to support their findings, don't they?
Don't they? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Support there. Can you say support
Support
there?
their findings. Support their findings.
Okay, I'm not hearing the th. This is a tricky. I'm just being very difficult with you because that's all you have left. Okay. But I'm not hearing the two sounds. The important sound is sticking your tongue under your teeth. So you say support
Support their
there, and then you slide your tongue under your teeth.
support their
Yeah,
findings.
that was better.
Support their findings.
Because before I was hearing like support air, and that sounds weird. That doesn't sound natural. Support air. It's support, and then you slip your tongue under support there.
There's like scientists rely on empirical evidence to support their findings,
Mm-hmm.
don't
Yeah,
they?
but just move your tongue under your teeth a little bit more. It sounds too much like a D.
Support their
That was good.
support their findings. Okay.
Support there. Support their findings.
Support their findings.
Don't
Okay.
they? Don't they?
No, don't they?
Okay, Kabe, how would you tell me? Oh yes, your idea is right. I agree with your idea. How would you say that?
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. Or
Yes,
yes, they
they
do.
do. They do.
Yes, do. They do.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. With a
Yes, they
friendly
do.
tone. Yes,
Mm,
they do.
yes, they do. Okay. How would you tell me I'm wrong? Oh, you're wrong. That's not true. I disagree with you.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Okay.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Sarah, scientists rely on empirical evidence to support their findings, don't they? How will you agree with me? How will you tell me I'm right? Yeah, you're right about that.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. How would you tell me, oh, that's not true? You're wrong about that.
No, they don't.
Okay. All right. All right. Final word for today. Kaveh, can you read number 4? What does it say?
A good hypothesis should be clear and easy to test.
Okay. Do you know that word, Kaveh? Hypothesis.
Hypothesis.
Mm.
Yes.
What is a hypothesis?
Hypothesis is like maybe it's like a concept. It's before theory, but
I think
can
that
can be
according
used
to
to
the
make predictions. Can be used to make predictions.
okay, and I think that according to the book, okay, I'm no expert, but
Uh-huh.
according to what we just read, it seems like it's the other way around that a hypothesis is after a theory. Like first you have a theory, and inside of a theory you create a hypothesis, according to the book.
Mm,
That
okay.
I mean I don't know if that's true, but I mean that's what the book said, so I would just go with that. I don't. Do you remember that? There's a lot of words in that book.
So 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 theory as a big circle,
Hmm.
um, and hypothesis is like embedded in this big circle that's called theory.
Yeah, let's see. Just to make sure. Uh, oh, I can't find it. I'm just looking at the book now. Empirical method. Where's the word hypothesis here? They don't have it
You
highlighted.
can use you can use your keyboard. Come if you're using Mac, you can use Command key and F, and in this shortcut you can easily find the word that you are looking for.
Oh, let's see. A hypothesis should fit into the context of a scientific theory. That's what it says.
Mhm.
So
So it's like embedded in.
yeah, I've never heard that before, but I've never heard it put like that before, but that's what the book says, right? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, I learned something today. Okay. All right. Sarah, you're the Lex Friedman fan here, so probably you've seen that word before, right? Hypothesis.
Yes,
Okay.
I saw it many times before. Yeah.
Okay. Can you read number 4? What does number 4 say?
Okay. Mm, a good hypothesis should be clear and easy to test.
Okay. Sarah, can you read from A to B? So a good hypothesis should be, just read that, only that.
A good hypothesis should be
Okay, which words are important in that phrase? A good hypothesis should be.
a hypothesis, and I think good as well.
All right.
Because, yeah,
Okay, I agree with you. So let's highlight good. That's an adjective. Adjectives are usually something that you will emphasize. And then we have
yeah.
hypothesis. Which syllable in that word, hypothesis, has all of
Pa,
which?
hypothesis. Pa,
Pa.
the second syllable.
That's right.
Yes,
The second syllable or the second syllable?
the second syllable.
The, not the.
Hypothesis.
The second
The,
syllable. The.
okay.
Okay.
The,
All
okay.
right. So
The,
this phrase that we have, these are the only important sounds, good and pa. And the other sounds are very small. A good hypothesis should be.
a good hypothesis should be
Oh, you're emphasizing should and be, but don't do that. Make it small. This will help with your listening as well as your accent. A good hypothesis should be.
a good hypothesis should be
Should be. Just say should be. Should be.
should be
Should be.
should be
Hypothesis should be. Hypothesis
should
should
be
be.
hypothesis should be
A good hypothesis should be.
a good hypothesis should be
Can you try that, Kaveh? A good hypothesis. I can't even say it. I'm getting tired. A good hypothesis should be.
Good hypothesis should be.
Should
A
be.
good hypothesis should be.
A
A
good.
good hypothesis should be.
Mm-hmm. All right, Kaveh, what are
Mhm.
the final words of that phrase?
Clear and is it a test?
Okay, and which words are important in that final part?
Clear and easy?
Okay, how about test? Do you think maybe we could also do test?
Okay. Let's be
Easy to test.
clear. So
No, I guess we don't.
one
Go ahead.
okay.
Go ahead. What?
One could be clear. One could be clear, and the final yeah, the final word should be test. So
Well, now that
clear
I'm
and
thinking
test.
about it, I don't think that we have to emphasize test. Maybe just clear and easy. Which
Mhm.
syllable? This is difficult because you can emphasize any word that you want. It's just a matter of sounding neutral, which I have to think about it. It's natural to me if I'm just talking, but when I'm trying to show this to other people, it's not. It's very inorganic, so it's hard to know which words to
Mhm.
emphasize. But let's try. Let's just try with clear and easy. Which syllable in easy has all of the sound? Easy.
E.
Hmm. Can you say the word clear for me? Say it very slowly. I want to hear you pronounce that word clear.
Okay. Clear.
Okay, so you hear there are two sounds in there. Ia. It's not just e, but ia. Clear.
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 Clear. Okay. Clear
Clear.
and
Yeah.
easy.
Clear.
Clear and easy.
Clear and easy.
I think we will do tests. I've changed my mind. Clear and easy.
Okay.
Clear and easy to test.
Mm.
Can you say that?
Clear and easy to test. Clear and easy to test.
Mm-hmm. A good hypothesis should be clear and easy to test.
A good hypothesis should be clear and easy to test.
Sarah, can you try that? Clear and easy to test.
Clear and easy to test.
Clear and easy to test. Say it again.
Okay, clear and easy to test.
Okay. A good hypothesis should be clear and easy to test.
Okay, a good hypothesis should be clear and easy to test.
Okay. And Sarah, how will you make a question? Do you agree with me? This is my opinion. Do you agree with my opinion?
Shouldn't it?
Okay. Shouldn't it? Shouldn't it?
Shouldn't it?
Shouldn't it? So if you want to sound
Shouldn't it?
yeah, if you want to sound confident, like, hey, this is my idea and I want you to agree with me, then it should go from high to low. Shouldn't it? Shouldn't it?
Shouldn't it?
Uh-huh.
Shouldn't it?
A good hypothesis should be clear and easy to test. Shouldn't it?
Shouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. How would you do it if you're not sure and you really are asking me a question? How would you say it?
Shouldn't it?
Shouldn't it? Shouldn't it? Shouldn't it?
Shouldn't it?
A good,
Shouldn't it?
a good hypothesis should be clear and easy to test. Shouldn't it?
Shouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Kaveh, can you make the question with confidence? Like, hey, that's my opinion and I want you to agree with me.
A good hypothesis should be clear and easy to test, shouldn't it?
Shouldn't it? Yeah, that's very confident. Like, this is what I think and I want you to agree with me. Okay, how would you do it if you weren't sure and you were really asking me if that's the correct thing to do?
A good hypothesis a good hypothesis should be clear and easy to test. Shouldn't it?
Shouldn't it?
Shouldn't it?
Shouldn't it?
Shouldn't it?
Okay.
Shouldn't it?
Shouldn't it?
Okay.
Shouldn't it? Okay. How will you tell me, oh, yes, I agree with you. You're right about that. I think you're right about your idea.
Yes, it should be.
You know, this is funny. Okay, yes, it should. I think the most standard way to do this would not be to include the verb. Okay. Yes, it should.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it should.
You can include the verb if you want, but that makes it extra strong. Yes, it should be. And probably you would, yes, it should be. And then you would emphasize the word should. Yes, it should. Yes.
Yes, it should be. Yes, it should.
So normally when you're answering this question, you would emphasize the word yes. Yes, it should.
Yes, should.
Okay, but if you add the verb, then you have to emphasize the word should. Yes,
Emphasize yes.
Should be.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
But
what a tip.
Yeah, but it sounds extra strong if you add the verb. So normally people don't do that, but you could if you want to. Okay. And how would you tell me, oh no, that's not true. You're wrong about that.
No, it shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't. No.
No, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah. And what if you include the verb? How would it sound then?
No, it shouldn't be.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be. No, it shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't be. No, it shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't be. Like that.
No, it shouldn't be.
Okay. Sarah, a good hypothesis should be clear and easy to test. Shouldn't it? How will you agree with me? How will you tell me, oh yeah, you're right about that?
Yes, it should.
Yes, it should. Okay. How will you tell me, oh, that's not true? You're wrong.
No, it shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't. Okay. All right. I think we're going to stop here for today. Thank you, Sarah and Kaveh, for participating.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for your comments and your questions.
Appreciate you.
And
And I'd like I'd like to thank you, Mr. Professor. I don't know
Yeah,
what's your name, but
Mhm.
thank you for your all efforts and everything you have done for us. So I'm
nearly
thankful to you.
4 hours.
Yeah, it's a long.
Yes,
Well, thank you for
Yeah.
participating. I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much. I
And
really appreciate you for your time and efforts.
well,
Like,
yes,
well, good.
wow,
You can reward me by pressing the like button, by sharing it with your friends, and that's enough for
100%.
me.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
yes, sure. We'll do that. Yeah.
So I will. I'll probably be back tomorrow. Probably not tomorrow morning because I'll be busy, but probably in the afternoon we'll continue with more. I don't know, English for nerds or maybe news of the day. I'm not sure yet, but I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Thank you
Okay.
very
Thank you.
much.
Goodbye.
Thank you, everybody.